Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Gates, the Greatest Secret Tavern this side of Limsa Laminsa, the Queer Buccaneer. I'm your host of the Manchester Star, behind the bar, Captain Eden Jackson, coming to you later than I usually would, and on a day where I'd already cancelled the stream. Let me explain. I was supposed to be at, well, I thought I was supposed to be at a work networking thing tonight. My friend is doing a talk there. It's very local. It's very easy for me to get to, and I do need to go to more of these things. And I got on the train. It's like one stop on the train, and then a little 10-minute walk. I got off the train, walked to the place, walked to the football ground that it was being held at, and I noticed a lack of cars parked in the parking area. So I got out my phone and I googled, or I searched the name of the event, and and I found a press release for it, and it said blank 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 is back at blank football ground this Thursday 12th of March. I arrived a full 24 hours early, which, you know, I like to be punctual, but that's a little much for even me, you know. So I got home, so I texted Zach like, I am the biggest dum-dum ever to walk this earth, because this is not the first time that this has happened. so I had to come back home in shame. Made myself some food, and then I was like, made me and Zach some food, and I was like, I did say I was cancelling stream tonight, and part of me was like getting that streamer fear that people get, that's like what if nobody shows up again. So I was like really nervous about streaming, and then like I realized that fuck it, like I actually have something that I want to do, and if I'm gonna do it, I've got like a bit of art that I want to make, and if today is the day that I was gonna do it anyway, I might as well do it on stream, because it's art streaming day on the channel. I might as well fucking do it. It doesn't mean that there's no wheel today, because we're not spinning the wheel today. We're doing something that is not wheel related today. So I will again open the floodgates. If you have a fictional business from a game or a TV show or a video or a movie or something like Wayland Yutani or Lysander Labs or the Pokemon Center, something like a brand that doesn't exist, here is your chance to redeem the add to the design wheel redemption, and just type in the name of that thing and it'll get added to my big wheel for the next weekly Wednesday streams. Because what we usually do on these streams, for those of you that are new, is we have the big wheel, we spin the big wheel, and wherever the big wheel lands, we make a logo for that fake company. We've done in the past, we've done both the red team and the blue team from TF2. We've done Fazbear Incorporated. We've done Bob's Burgers. We've done Monsters Inc. We've done like all sorts of stuff, that kind of thing. So if there's anything that you want added to that wheel, just redeem the thing, and if it's already on the wheel, it'll be on the wheel twice. So it's twice as likely to hit it. The early bird gets the cheese. The early bird gets the cheese, but I think when you're that early, they've not even like got the cheese out the fridge yet. There's no cheese for you. So I might try again and go tomorrow on the actual day. Or I might just go, fuck it, I was destined not to go to that event. No, I should go. Devon Corp's a real good one. We did, like I said, we did Lysander Labs. I don't think Silphco, I think, is on the wheel, but I don't think Devencorp is. Devencorp is my favorite because I've got a soft spot for Gen 3. It's weird. I don't consider myself a Pokemon fan anymore, which feels wrong, but like I didn't really enjoy Legends EA, didn't really enjoy Scarlet and Violet. I don't intend to play Winds and Waves because I don't have a Switch 2 and I don't intend to get a Switch 2 anytime soon. But it's always going to be something that I'm sort of like casually sort of looking across the bar at, you know? Devencorp does stuff. What does Devencorp do? Devencorp. What do you do, Devencorp? Let's go to one of my least favorite websites on this here internet, Bulbapedia. Who doesn't think I'm a human? Let's go to one of my least favorite websites on the internet, Bulbapedia, and let's see what they say. Why do I hate Bulbapedia? I've been over this. All Pokemon wikis just kind of suck. Bulbapedia has its information hierarchy in a really wrong way. Like, the things that you would most likely need to look up are in the most fucked up places on the Pokemon pages. All Pokemon wikis kind of suck. There's a clip on here and on YouTube about how Pokemon wikis all kind of suck. So they mine and smelt iron sand. Oh, they don't do that anymore. They make useful products. Oh yeah, they made all the new Pokeballs. Like, I think they make like everything that isn't a Poke Great Ultra or Master Ball. I think they make. So that's like Quick Balls, Dusk Balls, Net Balls, and all the other useless ones that nobody uses. Because those are the only three. Those are the only three that. And I suppose Timer Balls. Those are the only four that anyone fucking uses, right? And Net Ball, I think, is stretching it. I think the three that people use are Quick Ball, Timer Ball, and Dusk Ball. Because if you're like me, you only ever played Pokemon at night, so everything was just caught in a Dusk Ball. So they invented the Pokemon Producer. So they bring Pokemon back to life from a fossil. But I was pretty sure that Pewter Museum was doing that. Pokénav Plus. They invented running shoes? Excuse me? They invented running shoes? That's dumb. That's so dumb. Devencorp, who invented Premier Balls, Net Balls, Dive Balls. I said they didn't invent Quick Balls. They didn't invent Timer Balls though. But they had to invent shoes. They had to invent special shoes for you to run fast. That's so daft. That is so daft. Well, who invented Quick Balls? Who invented Quick Balls? No, they did not. They did not have a hand in Quick Balls. So what's even the fucking point? But they did invent Timer Balls, which is maybe the one good ball that they did. So who was Quick Balls, and who was Dusk Balls? The two good balls. They are the place where you get a Scattershot things early. Yeah, they just sort of do stuff. They are the go-to. We made stuff of Gen 3. Of Hoenn, I guess. Right. Invent. Nobody. Corp. Made. No. Okay. It does not say who made a Quick Ball. Who made a Quicked Ball? Please. Trivia? Nope. I didn't want actual. Like, I didn't want like stats and things. I wanted to know in canon who invented the Quicked Ball. None of this is important. None of this is important, and none of it is relevant to what we're doing today. But also, we do need to do the Minute Cryptic before we go anywhere. Before we do anything, we do need to do the Minute Cryptic before I forget. There's also a new daily game that I might introduce into the streams. The guy that invented Wordle, I think his name's Chris Wardle, has made a new game called Passwords, I think. I think it's called Passwords. it's like another cryptic crossword type game. I've done today, so I can't show you today's, but I might add that to the pre-stream daily game rotation. So caretaker watching Scrubs with nurses starts to take inspiration. Ooh. Repeat ball's kind of handy from time to time. Okay, under what circumstance are you using a repeat ball? I'm interested to know. Because I don't shiny hunt, I don't do competitive, I don't really play Pokemon anymore, but I never use a repeat ball in all of my time. Okay, so my first instinct is watching Scrubs with. If you ignore the fact that Scrubs is the name of a show, if you scrub the word with from the word watching, you get so you take what I'm doing is I'm taking out the letters W, I, T, and H. So you take out the W, the T, the H, and the I. You get Aachen. No. There's no H. So ACNG? Yeah, because you don't have the W, you don't have the, so you have the A. You don't have the T, so you have the C. You don't have the H, you don't have the I, and that's all of them. So ACNG. So Aachen. With so we've done this bit. So nurses starts to take inspiration, and I assume either take inspiration or caretaker is our definition. Okay, starts to take inspiration. So okay, so is okay, go with me here. Is nurses a container? So like when you nurse a baby, you hold it. So is ACNG holding something? So is it ACNG and then it's holding something in the middle, and it's holding the starts to take and inspiration. So T and I. That does give us the word acting. And if somebody is for example, a caretaker manager of a football club, they are the acting manager. I get it now. Boom, we got it. Boom, I'm happy with that. That was round the R's as that one. Caretaker to mean acting is a stretch, but it's the fun kind of stretch, you know? It's a neat kind of stretch. I liked that. That was a good one. So let's go back up. Okay, you just made me feel incredibly stupid. How does your brain do that? Okay, MJ, I do this every day. You just start to understand it. You just start to learn to speak its language. Like watching Scrubs with. Scrubs to mean get rid of. So you get rid of the with in watching, and then nurses was like the biggest stretch, I think. But it was, again, it's a I didn't follow a word of that. The thoughts just went straight off my smooth brain. Cryptic crossword clues is just a skill it's a useless skill that you just pick up. You just need to learn to speak its language. And if you continue watching, and this has happened to like people like Neil and Jedi, if you continue watching me solve the clues, you will start to understand the clues. I did it once, and then I just couldn't get the rest without a bunch of hints, which kind of defeats the point. It only defeats the point if you are going for doing it without any hints. Sometimes I have to use the hints. Sometimes I routinely will use the indicator hint to just tell me what are the puzzle words, and then I can like puzzle the rest out. But yeah, like it's just the sort of thing where you keep doing it and it will just like click into place. I have some files that I moved many of Pokemon into into Pokemon Home and still play and do some training hunting and breeding. That makes sense. But yeah, the crypto crosswords, it's just a very useless skill that you learn to pick up over time. Today's quest, you may have seen from the title of the stream, we are making a logo for a new show that I am going to be doing here on Twitch and YouTube. So I while I was on holiday, I did this call out for your logos that you're happy for me to talk about on stream. And what I was going to do was I was going to do a big long stream where I went through them all in a nice big like quick fire kind of way, gave brief advice, gave a quick like here's what I would here's good point, bad point tier list. And it was going to be a little bit quick fire, but then I thought, wouldn't it be cool, wouldn't it be fun to do a sort of longer form thing where I take one, maybe two logos per stream and I give them more in-depth breakdowns, talk about but take all the input that I was given on in terms of like why the decisions were made, take a look at what it is supposed to be the logo of, and then do a full sort of here is how I would approach it. Here is what I like about it. Here's what I don't like about it. Here's how I would approach making that thing. So I think what I'm suggesting is a kind of logo surgery. And I think I want to make a logo for that show that the working title is the logo surgery. Because like for those of you that don't know, I am a professional logo designer. I run a branding design studio in my free time. As my profession, this is what I do in my free time. So my day job, my 9 to 5, if you will, is I run a logo design business. I run a brand design business. I build brands for people. So I think it would be a nice, fun sort of extension of what we do here, where we make logos and sort of talk about the design process. I think it would be a nice extension of that to give people in-depth advice and sort of breaking down what they've done, telling them what's good, telling them how they can improve, like showing people how you can represent things in a non-literal way, basically sharing all of my skills with you for free, which is one of the things that I like to do. So we are going to be making the logo for the the logo surgery or the design surgery. I think the design surgery is, see, here's the thing, the design surgery is a better name, but it is a more general name. So I don't want people to think I'm like a character designer or anything like that. I'm not a model designer. I'm not a character designer. I am a brand designer. So it's either the design surgery, the logo surgery, maybe the brand surgery, but the brand surgery feels a little bit too corporate. So this is today's mission anyway, is to create the logo for the logo surgery show that I'm going to be starting to do. So let's not go to there. Logo Lab's very good. I was my instinct was to go with surgery, but Lab is also very good. Lab is also like my initial plan was I was going to have one of these like little nurse caps with some form of symbol, like one of these little nurse caps with some kind of symbol, but like if we're going like Logo Lab, which is a better name, we'll need a different we'll need a different approach for that. So I really like that new name. I really like Logo Lab. It is a better name. Like Logo Surgery was like just like literally just the first thing that came off my head. Logo Lab is better. So let's just drop that onto the board just so we know what we're playing with. And that takes us like out of the realm of medical and into the realm of more science, which I feel might be more beneficial. Because what we do is less sort of, I consider it more like alchemy, which is why I've googled alchemy supplies. So like utilizing something like this in the logo would be really good. I used to work in marketing, so naming things is something I'm pretty good at. Yeah, like I appreciate that. A lot of people will mistake me as a marketing guy because I'm a branding guy, but it's a very, very different skill set. And I really appreciate marketing guys because I cannot do what they do. So what we do is kind of like I would consider it less like proper science stuff. So let's just science supplies. Let's see what I get from them. Like this kind of stuff doesn't feel like it's the right vibe. This like microscope Bunsen burner flask kind of thing. Have some homecoming health drink. Like this feels like the wrong vibe. Test tubes are so overdone. Whereas this, slightly more fantastical, feels better to me. I don't know. No test tubes. Test tubes are so cliche. Right. So let's write our little brief. A Twitch/YouTube show. Let's make this a feasible fucking size to read. Wherein viewers submit logos and brands to be reviewed, critiqued, and recreated by a professional brand designer. Show will include breakdown of logo, how it represents the brand, the good and bad, followed by a how I would do it. That's this is the pitch. This is kind of the pitch. And I am actually quite excited to do this kind of thing. Let's just make that bigger so y'all can read it. So this is kind of the pitch. Less rigid shape language probably catches the vibe a bit. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like less like science, like real like capital S science equipment is a lot of hard edges, a lot of strong corners. So the vibe is helpful, whimsical, light-hearted, and knowledgeable. That's kind of the vibe. And for those that have seen the logo design streams on previous weeks, this is a little bit the approach to this is going to be a little bit different because it is not it's not the wheel. I'm approaching it just slightly differently. But I think this is going to help my process a little better. Helpful, whimsical, lighthearted, knowledgeable. That's the vibe we're going with, which is why my first thought was to look up alchemical supplies. Don't know how feasible it is with the description. I'm thinking of condensers and distillators. Let's have a look at distillator condenser. I am not familiar. Oh, that's a funky machine. And is a condenser a kind of similar funky machine? Oh, it's less funky, but that feels like it's a part of a different machine. This might be the right vibe. They're a little busy, so it's gonna be hard to like, I don't know, like I wanna factor in like some like this kind of like whimsical big boopy shape and little offshooty thing, but it's getting it to a place where it's recognizable but simple enough that it's you know, scalable, fit for purpose, all that jazz. Because we have the four tenets of logo design. Is it scalable? Does it work in different colors? Does it work in different alignments? And does it look like a penis or swastika? Those are the things that those are the four tenets that we need to pass to be successful. I really like this thing. It's just a cool looking thing. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. I didn't want to save it, but look at it. It's beautiful. There might be like an element of it that we would be able to like take out, simplify down. I quite like, I don't know what it is, but I really like this thing here. The pipe with the like spiral pipe inside it. That's a little bit of iconography that we might need to use later down the line, you know, because that's really cool. Let's just try throwing stuff around. Let's just like throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, you dig? This is how, like, people will say like you gotta have a process, you gotta know what you're doing, you gotta have your, you gotta go in with a plan, otherwise you're gonna fail. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, you dig? So my first plan is to maybe let's add some extra points into this, like there, and in line with it there. Let's go in and move this point just to make sure that it is the same width as, not the same width, the same position as that one. Put that on the guide. Let's put that on the guide. What am I doing? You'll see shortly. If you don't fail, how else are you going to learn? That is exactly right. Lurking, we're making brownies. I want some brownies. I would like some brownies. So the plan is sort of make this kind of. That looked better in my head, I think. I think that looked better. I think that did look better in my head. But we live and we learn. And also, speaking of learn, I need to learn how the fuck I'm going to make that shit. Because it's just... Well, it is just kind of... It's doing it properly, like accurately, that's going to be the difficult bit. Let's see how we're going to make a spiral. Let's... Like, there's making a spiral, and then there is the very specific making a spiral of that angle. So it starts with a circle, and then if we move that circle what is the forms? What are the core shapes of this? It is a circle that's had a bigger circle chunk taken out of it, and then that is just sort of looped and repeated. So let's try. If we just shrink that down, move it over here. Twitch objects me being mean to the new Sonic the Hedgehog. We do indeed live and learn, like that fuck-ass hedgehog said. Look, the amount of streamers that are a little bit autistic, you gotta be nice to the hedgehog or they'll get upset. Right, is that at all the right sort of shape profile? Let's connect some dots. Like round here, we can be mean to the fuck out hedgehog. I allow being mean to the fuck out hedgehog. Is this at all the right shape? Like that kind of looks right. Let's just make that all one big shape. That does kind of look the part, doesn't it? Then there was definitely a better way to make this, but here we are making it this way. I don't even know if we're going to end up using this shape, but I do quite like it. Can we also like round off these corners? You know how I feel about corners that are... Oh no. There's some ugly alignment. I have absolutely bungled up the alignment there. Let's distribute spacing. Oh, horrendous. Distribute spacing. No, I just want to distribute spacing on the shapes themselves, please. Right, let's align them all. This one needs move it up. These weren't nearly as aligned as I thought they were. Right, let's start with just the one. This is... Ooh, okay. There is some funkiness with them, which we are going to need to iron out, which is exciting. So let's just iron out the kinks now. And then that should work as a single shape if we flatten that down. And then simplify it to... Ooh, that's not right. Now let's round off the corners a bit. Round off these corners a bit. Why can't I round off those corners? Because there are... Ooh, there's some ugly points in there. Ooh, lordy lord. Right, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Now we should be able to round off these corners. Are they all rounded off to... Yeah, okay. That's usable, I think. Again, I don't even know if I'm going to be using this, because it's a very, very high detail shape. Let's delete and come back to it if we need to. Okay. What is a... Everything gets broken by one annoying point. Everything, every single thing. What is a symbol for logo design? That is okay. Now, my first thought is this over here, which is the direct selection tool, which is how do we make this? We make this with 2 polygons, I think. Like the direct selection tool, which is, let's add a point to here. Let's add a point right in the center there. Like this little arrowhead thing, as you can see in the corner. Like that is kind of the what I would consider symbol of logo design. Maybe a little bit more rotation over there. Like that, but that's me in the industry, because that is the direct selection tool, which is this thing up here, which you can barely see. This is getting on my tits. So let's shrink you away. So if anybody like that's going to be something else that we're gonna have to look up, I think. Symbols for design, and that's, we can also check the Noun project, which is a really useful resource. Love the Noun project. All my homies love the Noun project. Just type in logo. Those are logos. Not exactly what I was after. Design. Again, it's light bulb. It's pen tool. Pen tool is also a good shout, I think. And these sorts of nodes and things. Pen tool's a good shout. Is there a way that we could combine a bit of this alchemical device into a pen tool? Because pen tool, if you don't know, pen tool is this one over here. Pen tool, not to be confused with Pim tool. Pen tool is the thing that allows me to, draw shapes, and the shape is the start of everything. It's these that become the logos. This one is a particularly bad example because I just clicked at random, but I think, okay, pen tool. What can we do? Alchemy, something alchemical that sort of merges into becoming a pen tool. What would be an exciting? Ooh. I have an idea with this bad boy here. What if it's like a cauldron where we cook up ideas that then turns into a pen tool at the bottom? I quite like that. I quite like that as a glyph. It might take some finessing, but let's start with the pen tool. What is the pen tool? Pen tool. We could just grab something from the Noun project, which wouldn't be ridiculous, but I do want to try and do it all from scratch. The pen tool is a diamond with a cutout. Nice and easy. Diamond with a cutout. So diamond is just a square that's fallen over. We then stretch it. Uniform 100, please. Okay. Horizontal. Let's go vertical by like 130, I think. So we've got our start by pen tool. then we take a line. We do a line down to the center. Yeah, line down to the center with a bit of a beefy stroke on it. We love to stroke our lines down to the center. I got a tiny idea. Could you have the text made of glass, like the flasks, and then merge them into one? Merge them into one of those glass tip fountain pens. Okay, that is a lot. The one of the tenets that I work with, and this is not by any means the only way of doing it. One of the tenets I work with is simplicity. If the logo can't effectively be drawn on a favicon, on a postage stamp, then I believe it is too complex. That's not the only way to do it, but that's my way of doing it. What you're describing would make for a really good illustration, but I don't think it would work. It's also beyond my capabilities as a designer. So okay. Like, I've tried to what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? There's for me, if a logo doesn't work in just black, it doesn't work at all. Which a lot of people don't like. A lot of people, especially in like what I've seen a lot of YouTubers, they dial it to like 15 on a scale of 1 to 10. They're dialing it to 15 with a logo, and I'm like, this is too much. You're doing 12 things. Just do one. Just do one thing well. I also. Now I'm just on a little bit of a rant. I'll what am I looking for? I'm looking for expand. There we go. Now that I'm on a little bit of a rant, I'm gonna say another thing. A lot of logos in the VTuber space are very literal. And by that I mean they are exactly my character is a dragon, so my logo is a dragon. My logo is my name with dragony bits on it because I am a dragon. And that is really I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice if your brand is if you're doing that. I feel like you're very much doing yourself a disservice because there are thousands of dragon VTubers out there, and if the only thing you have like pulling you apart from them is that you are a dragon, then that makes you no different to the rest of them. Like you need to hone in on what makes you special and make that the point of your branding, you know? Let's take this. Let's rotate this. Like, is there an interesting bit of lore that you can hone in on? Is there a specific style that you work with that other people don't work with? Like, are you like a rubber hose animation that you can then like use that in your branding? I don't know, like there's always something more to the character and to the channel and to the brand than just, well, I'm a dragon, so I'm doing a dragon logo, you know? And then when you turn that logo into a silhouette, it just looks like every other dragon logo because it's just the wings and the tail and maybe the horns. It's not. I'm not trying to say do better. I'm trying to say you deserve better. And I feel like the difference there is very important. Right, let's add a handle. Let's add a nice, cool handle. I don't know why my my corners, my like corner highlight thingy is just not being picked up on at all. In that sentence didn't make sense, but I knew what I meant. But yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing this. This little like Twitch series thing. At the very least, I'm doing like a pilot of it to see how it goes. Because I feel like I have a lot of I feel like I have a lot of expertise, and not like. And I feel like there's especially when people like get to the stage where they're like selling merch of their like channel logo and stuff like that. Like if your logo is just your logo because you think it looks pretty, then it's sort of there for the wrong reasons. It should be representative of something that you do. I'm just gonna. This is looking almost like Chalice, like, which I don't hate. This isn't exactly what I started looking for. But I'm kind of tempted to lean into it. Sorry, I angled one of those corners and not the other. What did I angle that corner at? I feel like I'm just sort of rambling into space at the moment. Which, you know, my channel. I'm allowed to do that. But yeah, I want people to kind of learn to understand the difference between a logo and an illustration. Is that giving Cauldron at all? Is that even giving Pen anymore? Is that giving like Cauldron at all? Do I maybe need to add something more? Right, let's emphasize the fact that it is an open pot kind of thing. Right, that is there's a name for the effect that it's doing. It is boning quite hard. Okay, it's not giving what I intended it to give, I'll be honest with you. But it's kind of leaning more into this sort of like, it's almost like a Greek chalice at this point, like one of those like one of those like pots with like the muses and stuff on them. What if I bubbles are too much. I know the bubbles are too much. Before anybody tells me the bubbles are too much, I know the bubbles are too much. Bad idea. That also might even be a bad idea. Like from a purely form perspective, I don't hate it. But it kind of stopped being a... Do I need to round off the bottom, maybe? Like, I know the whole thing was it was supposed to be a pen tool. But if I let's get a version of it and pull it aside for a sec. If I round off the bottom, like properly round off the bottom, make it more cauldron-y, would that do anything? Now it's real. Now it's. The pen tool and the cauldron do kind of clash shape-wise. You are not incorrect there. They are very, very different forms, which is why it's looking kind of like Greek chalice-y over here. Chalice isn't the right word that I'm looking for. You know, like those sort of Greek clay pots. Again, it's not that I urn. That's the word I'm looking for. It does kind of look like an urn, which is the wrong vibe. It is very much the wrong vibe. So let's we still got our pen shape, and I think our pen shape needs adjusting somewhat. So we're gonna fully ditch and start again. We could, and I really like the constituent parts of the pipette, like the alchemy supply, and the very, very old alchemy supply mixing with the very, very new like design tools, digital design tools, things like that. What about, like, pipette leans too close into the eyedropper. There's this thing here, but it's sort of just there is that thing there, which is triangle, the big circle on top. A lot of what I do is just shouting what shapes make a thing, and then drawing those shapes. A lot of what I do is identifying shapes. I'm real good at the square hole game. You know? Real good at the square hole game. Let's go to that, go to that, go to that, go to that. And then round off these corners. Let's just flatten that as a shape. How... Oh, that's a grumpy corner, that is. And is this corner just as grumpy? It is just as grumpy. Ooh, let's go to that. And while we're here, let's do some cleanup. Let's go to that point. And on the other side, we'll get rid of that point. And let's... This was not the right way to do this. Let's try it. The square hole game is easy if it fits. It goes in the square hole. Yeah, the square hole game is super easy. I don't know why anyone was challenged with the square hole. All right, let's have another. Let's change tack a bit. And then we pull this one down. We're trying to recreate like this kind of shape that we're then going to pen toolize later. So let's round off all three of these corners. See, now we've got a sort of nib not nib, a pin shape. So what if we need to stretch this first, and then now that we've got this kite shape, we then round off the corners, and we end up with something akin to this that we then build the little bobble on top of, which is quite simple. It is almost just a smaller version of the same shape again. That's the stopper, and then you build that. That's in. Like that. I'm quite like, you guys see what I'm saying? Like that, this thing here, we've recreated this, the abstraction of it quite nicely. And then we go back in with our pen tool thing. And I'm not 100 on how this will end up looking, but we're experimenting. Like, part of this journey is part of the reason I do the streams, part of the reason that I enjoy doing the streams is to be experimental and vulnerable and exploring the design process with y'all. And is that absolutely anything? What if we tilt it a bit? I don't like it. I don't like it. Alchemy. Maybe one of these? Perhaps? Mayhap? Why does olive oil get its own symbol? Why does olive oil need a symbol? Like, I'm no alchemy expert. But like, fire, water, air, earth, they all make sense. Moon, sun, they make sense. Life, death, that makes sense. Terra, creation, makes sense. Salt, you're losing me. Saltpeter, losing me even more. All the planets, they make sense. Alkali makes sense. No acid is odd. And then lead, phosphorus, olive oil. Interesting. Very interesting. The alchemical symbol for creation. That might be something. Alchemical symbol creation is this thing, which is it is a 8-pointed star. Let's throw this in the bin. Let's get our star tool out. Let's pull the amount of points up to 8. That's the wrong kind of star, but the thing about it is that it's one continuous line, and it is formed of, what is that? Let's just copy that and drop that in there. It's like all, what is it, 60-degree angles on the outside? Because that's also, I really like this. Because what this is it's the direct selection tool mirrored. The direct selection tool just rotated a bunch of times. So, sticking with our theme of alchemy and creation and design, we could create this out of the direct selection tool because you can see it. It's. Let me grab my paintbrush. It's here. Look, it's that, and then there's another version of it there, and a third version of it. Nope, not quite a third version of it. A third version of it there. It's direct selection. It's one like bit too short, but if we can create this and then sort of like highlight the direct selection tool inside it, or like the selection tool inside it, I think we're onto something here. I think we may be onto something here. That's really. Ooh, it's gonna be rough to pull off. I will go and see if Now Product has creation. Is that somebody's just scribbled on a fucking napkin? Beautiful. That's a star, David. That's a different thing. Right. So it's 1, 2. It's an octagon. Then it's a square. And then it's. Okay, let's try and do this. Okay, octagon. Octagon. No fill. Just stroke. No filling, just stroking, you know? Square. The square is more of a diamond. So let's insert that into the mix. So far, so good, I think. And then if we can get a copy of that. And I think it does that as well. Yes. And then there's all the points that are all tiny little direct selection tools. The more I see this, the more I like this. Okay. And then these just get extended up to a point. So grab that. Let's grab that. And that's it. That's the basis of our. That's the basis of it. Quick point of order. Where is the join? Half. And then we need to rotate that rotational symmetry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Right. Over the 360 divide 8, I think. And we get a copy. And then we can't repeat that over and over again for some reason. Was this the best way of making this? Probably not. But we now have our creation symbol. We have our creation symbol. And we're going to expand that out so everything just becomes a line. And then chunk it down into one. So we're now on just one solid shape. This is just one solid shape now. So what we want to do, and this is, I'll get an extra version of it that we can bump off over there. Is we want to make a shape. Is our direct selection. Maybe add these two as well. I'm kind of happy with that. I think that's banging. But it's not quite right. Because we need 2 copies of that. First off, let's make them black. I don't know why they're red. Let's. So now we've got this, and what I wanted. Okay, so I just want the selection tool itself, which means cutting away these bits. So that bit's really simple. We just make a shape, we cut away, and now how do we cut away those bits? Right. Let's get our knife tool. I always forget where I keep the knives. There we go. I wanted a straight line there. If you could give me a straight line, that would be fantastic. Let's instead just make a nice line there. A nice, because these are all 45 degrees. It does make it really easy to, because it's all just like snaps. It all just snaps automatically, which is really tasty. And now let's simplify this shape. It should just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Can I just put it? We can't put it down to that point. Right, that is a problem. Easily solvable problem. That'll be why it couldn't be crunched down to the correct amount of points. So there's all this additional bump that I'm too sloppy. I'm running a sloppy shop over here, games. Running a sloppy shop. Speaking of sloppy shop, which one of those is the centerpiece? There we go. Right, now we have just this. Now we put it back, and I have an idea of right. It might just be me that loves this idea so far, but look at that. Oh, right, it's a little bit misaligned. So let's. Is that not gorgeous? It's simple, but it takes alchemy and creation and all this other stuff, combining it with the modern design tool. I'm so happy with how this looks. It's it's super simple, but the simple is the brilliance, you know? Or maybe it's just me and I'm being a bit of a wanker about it. Which is totally understandable. It could be crap. But I genuinely, I'm really excited about this looking. Right, let's try something. Let's offset this by we're gonna put a version of it over here. Let's offset this by a single pixel. Offset path by 1. We just want to offset by 1. Why did we do that? So that it hid all of these edges. Now let's release. Let's merge. So now we've got this, and let's go into our appearance. How thick is this? Let's have a check, shall we? It is 30 pixels. So if we now go inside by 30 pixels, so go new fill, in black, and then path offset path by -30. It's so simple, but I'm dead happy with that. Like, we'll add some text along with it, and maybe a splash of color. Put it over here, and let's expand some stuff out. Expand appearance, and maybe even round off some of these corners. Because you know me, I love a completely superfluous corner rounding. Maybe just these bottom corners by like 10. We'll do the top one by 10 as well. No, it didn't need it. It didn't need it. It didn't need the corners rounding. Unless we round all of the corners, I don't think it's going to work. But yeah, as a little glyph, to go along with the logo, I really like how this is looking. Group it up. We'll group this up. We'll group this up. Group all these up. That's a single thing, but that can be grouped anyway. Sorry, what are you over here? Stray paths. Stray guides. Right. Doesn't need the corners rounding. I've decided it does not need the corners rounding. Chat, y'all will tell me if this looks like shit, right? Because I'm really excited with how this is looking. I think let's go into some fonts. Let's go. I think we want something clean. That Azo Sans looks really nice. It's activating. It's activating. Activate quicker. So how y'all doing? Let's see what I've got in my collection. Azo. Give me Azo. Give me that Azo that I just installed. Azo. Maybe I don't like this Azo. Oh, it's definitely kerned a little bit, oddly. And I know I just pulled the kerning right in, but that needs pulling in just a touch, I think. And then that, let's pull you back out. And let's go letter by letter. That can be pulled in. That can be pulled in just a touch. Alright, so this needs to be in a group. Groups and groups. Font's boring. Font's boring. Font is boring. We need something not like punch you in the face exciting, but something where I can alter the corners just a little bit to make it more like what we have. Oh, once again, I'm drawn to Big Black Bear. Love Big Black Bear. Big Black Bear is a hell of a fun. I thought you said fun's boring. Font's boring. Fun, not boring. Font's boring. Don't worry, I'm not. What I'd quite like to do is try and grab this shape and throw it into the font somehow. Like mayhap. Could I perhaps just use this little cutout? While I'm here, chat, I will once again ask. Are we digging this? Are we digging this that I've made? Because I, a little bit trapped on the inside, think it's really neat. I think it's really neat. But I'm willing to be slapped aside and told, no, this sucks. Because I know I know it's easy for me to get attached to ideas. Could easily replace the A-hole with the arrow. That makes more sense than trying to throw it in the G. You're so right. Or I could even, like, tilt the A entirely to be the... no. Bad idea. Terrible idea. I honed in on my game when you'd gone from looking for something to onto a completely different, very cool thing. Yes. Sorry. During, like, an ad break, I discovered that the alchemical symbol for creation was this funky thing, and I was like, there's a direct selection tool hidden in that. So I just fucking ran with it. Maybe it's not the A. Maybe it's the 0. Not the 0, the O. Fucking hell. The 0. What am I playing at? Let's get you out of that fucking group. Get you over here where I can actually use you for something useful. Get you in the group, but not in that part of the group. Thank you. Right. Oh, yeah. People these days. Is it possible for me to reform the A to be this shape? Or is that a stupid idea. I think it might be a stupid idea. Right, let's make this white. And fill in that just so we can. So that's the easiest. That is the easiest application of the arrow shape in the text. And I don't hate it. It's cliche, but I don't hate it. I think the hard mode is like getting it into the G. If we could get it into this G shape, I think I'd be really happy with that. Because the G is... Because the G almost has that shape to it, you know? Like it's there. It's right there. Like that slots in perfectly. Obviously everything needs aligning and shaping up, and it needs color. But I am so happy with how this has come out. Why not say fuck it, we ball? Put it into all of it. I like the way you think, Abel. I like the way you think. The L we'd like cut a corner. Which I honestly I think kind of slaps. The alternative is like cutting in here. Like just taking a little smidge out. Just taking a little corner out. I think that adds, actually genuinely I think that adds a lot. It's subtle. But logo design is more about subtlety. No. Maybe the other way. Maybe we cut a little chip out. That way? It's almost there, but I don't like it. And of course we can reappropriate this over here. But I think double fisting it overdoes it. If we get this to be straight up, then if we do straight up and down, then like that would work quite nicely. But is that at 360? When is it saying it? Is that too much? Is that too much? Is that anything that might be too much, or? I think there's something in. What I'm trying to do here. Right, let's pull this across. Alright, then we make this black. And we add a big white rectangle. That's actually going to need to be done by editing the shape itself. But I don't hate that as a slightly altered A shape. Like that is, of course. Yes, I think that is overdoing it. And I think what I'm going to do is just create the A entirely out of the A is way too thin. The A is way too thin. I don't think there's a real way to get it to look right without just having the thicker A in there. Problem is this flat roof. The problem is the flat roof. But unflattening the roof looks like shit. Am I overthinking it? I might just be vastly overthinking it. I think I'm overthinking it. I think that does fine. I think that's good. I think I am just overthinking it. What is that goal on? Is that like 6th September, by the way? Hell yeah. Next is colors. And then we'll do variations. So the way we do it, we've got the main logo type now. we just need to get our alignments all sorted, which is usually about 66. Get our alignments, get our whatever I'm calling this. So that can go there, and they can be grouped. Right, so these things, they have a... Let's use this as our point of reference. So we've got this rectangle there, which is the width, so the height of that that letter L. So let's move that down there to align those. And then up here, let's put you on top of the L. Let's move you along to be in the center. And we get this shape and sit that on top of there. And that is all perfectly aligned now. Mathematically, but not eyeball. I think eyeballing it, we will... eyeballing it, let's just move you up just a touch. Yeah, right. Finished. What we're going to do is we're going to put a copy of this over here so we have it spare, and then let's dig into this shape and properly chunk out some of the correct and incorrect. What word am I looking for here? Let's clean up. Let's clean up. Clean up on aisle whatever, because we are cleaning the fuck up. Because right now, it's kind of a mess. Because there's so much cracking off and going on as all this here. And we need to properly simplify it. There's all this absolute crap over here that we've just farted around. And then we need to decide, is this whole thing, this outline here that we're seeing, is that an outline or is that a space? Because if it is a space, then we can delete it. If it is an outline, we need to keep it. Now, obviously, with the logo as it is now, I actually did not center it because I am a waste of space. So let's center that to that. Again, it's optical alignment, which is that, which looks right, versus mathematical alignment, which is that, which looks not right. Right, this is definitely a space. So let's exit isolation mode. Let's grab into this. Let's create outlines. And then let's delete and delete. This one will also create outlines. For creating outlines is turning something from a picture, for turning something from text into a picture. It's more complicated than that because it's not a picture, it's vectors. What are you doing? Ooh, that's exciting and broken. It's okay, I can fix this. It's very exciting and broken. Broken in whole new exciting ways. Look at you. You. Well. See, okay. Now we have the Logo Lab logo, which I am so excited about. We've got this version, which still has the whites in it. We've got the full progression over here. Let's put full progression way up there because we don't really need it. Let's shrink it down. Don't worry, they're all vectors, so they can all be pumped back up when we need them to. What is the color scheme of the Logo Lab? I, looking through the alchemical symbols, I quite liked this blue and gold. It doesn't really match the vibe of like the channel, but I really like the blue and gold as a combination. So why don't we try that? We'll put one more version of it over here. Always gotta be safe and have your backup versions. And why don't we start just fucking around with some colors? That's a nice start, but I think a deeper blue maybe. That's quite nice. That's quite a nicer blue. What does this abomination say we should pair with it? This color, which is not the best, not the worst. It's a bit dark. It's a bit it's nice to say pooey brown. That one shade light is quite nice. And then what we can do, if we're feeling nasty, that makes it too hard to read. I think that's really, really good. It's an idea that I've very much glommed onto that might make no sense to anybody else. But here's the thing, like a logo doesn't have to be like understood. It's not like a book to be read. It has to capture the vibe, you know. It's all very wishy-washy. Which is my code answer for fuck you, I like it, so I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, that's banging. And then let's do some other versions. Where we've got this version over here where it's like this, and we have the blue bits in line with one another, and then the width of the L is a good. No, not the width of the L. Let's try the width of the horizontal, the vertical bar of the L. Oh, wait. Look at that. Oh. Forgive me for tooting my own horn, but that's friggin' gorgeous. I really like how that's come out. For saying originally it was a pen tool and a cauldron and a pipette, we've boiled down to alchemy, digital creation. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. It's let's do lights and darks. We need our lights and darks. So we've got like, let's go back to over here where we can go our dark. Ooh, that's a murky shade, that is. What if we just turn the key a bar stretch down, do you reckon? Got our darks, which is basically our black analog, you know. And then we've got our light, which is our like white analog. And I think what would be a good idea is to use that gold color for the white analog. So we've got the blue and then the gold. We kind of like an accent color is usually a good idea at this kind of juncture. But for the use case that we are doing currently, I'm not sure that it's necessary. We also need a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Now that, like, ooh, one thing we need to discuss when we're doing the dark mode, what we're going to do is path offset path by 30 again. Nope, that was too big. Path offset path by, let's say 12. And then we need to, ooh, not that. Basically, instead of just inverting it, we need to like put a bit of an outline around it and then remove the initial shape. So let's offset that by 12. Let's grab all of these shapes, bundle them all into one. And then that's too big. Go away. Tooltip. Bastarding tooltip, go the fuck away. Let's try it by just the 6. Just the 6. Squunch that down. Make that all one big tasty delicious shape. And then delete the bits originally. Now, that just keeps all of the... I'll tell you what, just to make it easier for y'all to see, I'll put a black thing around underneath. That just keeps all of the dark bits dark and the light bits light, you know? It would have been really easy to just invert. Just invert and go on our merry way. But actually going in and adding that outline so the dark bits stay dark and the light bits stay light, it just serves to keep the logo coherent You know what I'm saying? I'm not a huge fan of this gold color that we're using. So let's recolor that. And then yeah. Just a touch lighter. It's still got that gold in there, but it is a touch lighter. Gamers, gang, crew. I think that balls. I think that slaps. I think that whips. I think I am happy with Logo Lab as a logo right now. I think that's really strong. So to just sort of reaffirm what Logo Lab is. Logo Lab is a show that I'm going to be doing on Twitch that'll be put on YouTube later down the line, where people submit their logos. I discuss what they do well, what they do poorly, what they could improve on, how I would approach the same thing. We have a look at their brand, we see how their logo is reflected in their brand, and then I have a crack at making a new one for them. That's what Logo Lab is. It is a logo creation show for people. It's a logo advice show for people. By me, a professional brand designer. And that's going to be the logo. The Logo Lab logo. Dead pleased with that. Dead happy with how that's come out. I should save. Streaming. Let's put that in wheel, even though it's not in wheel. Logo Lab. Also, as you may have noticed by all of these favicons, I am attempting to switch to Affinity Studio because I'm fucking sick of Adobe. So keep your eye out for that. I'm gonna try and switch from Adobe to Affinity. So yeah, direct selection tool plus the alchemical symbol for creation. It's whimsical, it's lighthearted, it's knowledgeable. It combines old forms of creation with new forms of digital knowledge and stuff. I'm really fucking pleased with that. Thank you all for hanging out with me while we made that. Thank you all for hanging out, and just, you know, I was like I said before, I was quite nervous to stream today because I was paranoid that nobody would show up because it was quite a quiet stream on Monday. And I just thank you all for hanging out with me. We had some new faces in, which was really exciting. But yeah, I will be back on Saturday for Wrestling is Silly. If you've not seen Wrestling is Silly, oh boy, you're in for a fucking treat. Wrestling is Silly is my fake fights show where we pit pop culture characters against each other. Last episode we had Cynthia from Pokemon, Spamton, and BoJack Horseman in a 3-way title match. Miku had a match against Snake. It's good shit. It's good shit. Come for the silly shit, stay for the storylines. Wrestling is Silly is the best thing I ever do on this channel. Let's go and say hi to someone, shall we? Let's go and say hello to somebody that is streaming. Last time we raided into Youngtown, who was literally just about to wrap up. So let's instead go and my friend Ali is seemingly rebranded. She used to be Giraffe Man 13 and now she's Surfin' Gurf. So let's go and say hello to the all-new Surfin' Gurf. That's a fucking phenomenal name. Let's go say hello to Surfin' Gurf. There is your raid message if you all want to drop those in. If you're a sub, use those emotes. If you're not, use any emotes you want. Become a proper regular by joining the Discord, or become a goat, join the Stoked. It's like Discord, but all the shit bits taken out. And once again, nerdyqueer.com is where me and Zach make our living. If you like pins and nerdy shit and queer shit, if you've ever thought, we talked about Pokeballs earlier, have you ever thought a Pokeball with Pride flag on it would be really cool? I want a trans Pokeball. You can buy a trans Pokeball pin at nerdyqueer.com, as well as several other incredible things. Please go to nerdyqueer.com. And yeah, until next time, book in book file, wherever the book you are. I see you next time. But until then, love you, bye.